What would you say to people who call your work convoluted or unnecessary?
They don't understand the craft. They don't understand me. I'm Gurf Pilfley, and I'm a real feeler. I calculate the real fuel temperature for my local weather station. I take my job very seriously. Every day, I wake up, I put on the real feeler's uniform, and I get outside with my instruments and my knowledge and do the work that no one else in society can. Weather work involves a high degree of precision. One misstep and I could disrupt between 3 and 7 picnics. Big meteorology wants to convince us that weather can be reduced to crass algorithms, but in the feeler community, we know it's actually a mix of art and science, like kidney dialysis.
So I guess the question is, why did you choose to work up here? Was it for the view, or something with the wind, or?
No, there's actually no relevant use to living in a treehouse as a real feeler. I literally can't afford to live anywhere else. I'm getting paid for this, right? In order to find the real feel, everyone in the feeler community has what they call a technique. I got my technique from my great-grandfather, who passed it down to my grandfather, who passed it down to my father, who actually passed it to my uncle, who then passed it to me. But it's said that techniques originated from those who used to augur through animal entrails to predict the weather. Now that practice it's controversial, and it's kind of a whole thing in the community.
Sure. So what are we doing here with you?
Serious weather work, bud. Did you not bring me here for that specific reason? Can I not do my work, bud?
So let's get some B-roll. So what goes into a technique?
Well, a number of things, a million billion different things. I mean, that's all the discussion on all of the feeler message boards that I'm on. But really, the long and the short of it is the heat, the wind, the viscosity, which is a concept that's kind of difficult to understand as an outsider, and the chance that while you're walking your dog, you're going to run into somebody that you've not really been returning the calls of, but you kind of pretend that you're on good terms, but you don't really want to see them. And that's about 15% of the real field prediction, at least in my understanding of it. So that's a big part of it. Unfortunately, the feeler community is in a bit of a crisis right now. I mean, local weather stations just don't hire us like they used to. It's cheaper and easier and more practical and more accurate and less weird, they say, to simply use robots and algorithms. There's no real in a real field without a real feeler. Not to mention that, online communities, feelerboards.org in particular, people come on, they see the name, and they get the wrong idea about what we're about. I mean, it's just hard to get respect anymore. I mean, you walk in somewhere, you go on a date. Last time I had a date a number of months ago, I told this girl, I'm a real feeler. And she looked at me funny. And she doesn't talk to me anymore, and that's kind of hard. So anyway.
It's mostly the algorithm, though.
It's mostly the algorithm, yeah. Despite it all, I'm still proud. I mean, you're proud of me, right?
Yeah. So, do you have any advice for a young, aspiring real feeler?
On realfeelers.org, if a guy named Feel With Your Feet messages you, block him. Do not interact with him. Other than that, follow your heart. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Just not from Feel With Your Feet. I learned that the hard way. I've calculated the Gurf Pilthy approved real field temperature to be 27 degrees Fahrenheit for today.
It's 10 p.m. Alright, we're rolling. A little bit of wind coming in. Okay, take your time. Well, I can try to make this in character. It's a little windy out today.
I factored that in. That'll be the stinger.
Alright, we're rolling.
Hey, it's Finn from Studio Purple here to tell you Communism will win.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
I'm not sure how this applies to the project.
It applies to every project. Read Marx.
He's got some good shit.
Boom's in the shop.